But now I'll rise above you.
Did you know that there are a lot of interesting and fun words one can use in many languages, but especially so in English? Well, today's special word is coprophilia. This word describes a person who gets sexually aroused by feces. Therefore, I shall henceforth refer to the three weeby Yareli mains out there as coprophiliacs, since they are clearly attracted to shit. Jokes aside, today I want to present some ideas for Yareli to make her an amazing warframe potentially. But before I offer possible solutions, allow me to summarize why she is by far the worst warframe in existence at the moment. First thing that needs to be said is that she is indeed a fun frame to play, if you spend your time exclusively on fairly low levels and remove the number 2 key from your keyboard. However, fun and good are not mutually exclusive terms. Yareli's main problems are completely pointless abilities and the complete lack of synergies. She also deals one of the worst damage types in the history of warframe. Let's go over each individual ability and I will elaborate why they suck donkey penis. Her first ability dispenses 5 stug bubbles that seek out enemies and suspend them in the air. What's acceptable about this ability is that it is alright crowd control, especially since you can have up to 15 bubbles simultaneously and they never latch onto the same targets, which means you can technically crowd control a total of 15 fools. So far so good. However, what destroys this ability is that the droplets have no range. Between casting and homing in on an enemy in range, you will already be within melee proximity, which is not a place you will want to be since this girl is squishier than a jellyfish. Of course you can work around this, but these facts simply render this ability impractical. Opposed to say next mind bolts or Equinox sleep ability who have insane range to compensate for limited enemy targeting. Yareli's second ability is K-Drive. And that's what is wrong here. Literally nothing about this is a good idea, and the fact that it is here only proves that DE is on the same kind of drugs as flat earthers are on. Delete this and we could call that progress. Next ability is the Aquablades, aka a recycled version of Garuda's original fourth.
And now it's time for the ultimate. So you go into this state where you essentially have just a blender going on. And grabbing, they get sucked into your vortex.
Yeah, it pulls them in.
So it's a vortex of blades that I can protect myself from with my
I think
shield.
your timing could have been better, but yeah, okay.
And you can move around while you're in it. They come into it, they get chopped.
Aquablades actually deal insane damage. They always have. And after 2 buffs, nothing about that has changed. Hell, the fact that Digital Extremes felt it was necessary to buff these blades even more is beyond me. More proof that whoever is in charge of this warframe cannot possibly know the first thing about damage mechanics. But I digress. Aquablades are, despite their amazing damage, again, utterly impractical, since the only effective way to use them is to get within melee range of enemies and just hold still until they die, at which point you might as well just beat their asses with a prova instead. And finally, her fourth ability. This thing is okay as a concept. It drags an enemies within reach and explodes to deal damage to everything in range. It also multiplies damage based on how many enemies are caught in it. It even crits every time. However, it deals cold damage, which is about as effective as cooling your PC in a microwave. And on top of all this, none of these abilities provide any synergies to assist Yareli in any way. And this is why she is doomed. Her design feels like 4 different interns at Digital Extremes created these abilities but never spoke to each other ever. So how can we fix Yareli within reason? Well, let me lay it on ya. Since her water bubbles kinda suck ass for the aforementioned reasons, I would suggest allowing Yareli to shoot through them for added weapon damage. so very similar to the Mutalist Quanta. A simple change that could turn the bubbles from a trivial semi-effective crowd control to a tactical choice to defend yourself with. We could also allow Yareli and only Yareli to strike the bubbles with melee to launch them in a linear direction, similar to Nova's nuke bomb speed. This way, one could decrease the chances of a bubble remaining stationary like an asshole until they decay and never reach anything to crowd control. Another suggestion here would be to allow the bubbles to synergize with Yareli's fourth ability. How? Easy. Every enemy affected by a bubble who also get caught in Riptide have their damage resistances removed temporarily. So Grenier would lose armor and Corpus would lose shields. The result of this would be that Yareli would become viable even in higher levels, as anything that debuffs enemies is welcome and useful for everyone on the squad. Let's move on to her K-Drive ability. YDE thought it was a good idea to put one of the most hated mechanics in the game on a warframe for a game that takes place in tight quarters and no ceiling height. 94% of the time is a fucking mystery to me. Perhaps they want to kill the game and collect insurance money or something. Who knows? But as for fixes, well, I honestly believe that the best fix would be to remove this dumb shit altogether and put something else in its place. However, out of respect for the few weirdos who might enjoy this trash, I think we can find a tweak to make most people happy. Okay, so when you use this K-Drive, it basically works like an Iron Skin or Nezzy warding halo. So Merulina protects Yareli and does so pretty well, I must say. However, it also forces players to stay on that wet fish-looking Asolidine carpet, and that is not an enjoyable playstyle, as it limits what a player can do and forces you to deal with colliding with every pixel in the fucking game. So I would suggest a tweak to the K-Drive mechanics. Allow the remaining health pool of Merulina to convert into armor or status immunity or damage reduction for Yareli upon exiting the K-Drive. This way, players who want to use the K-Drive and stay on it to be tanky can do so. The ones who do not want to use the K-Drive can simply dismount early and gain a survivability benefit, so you do not get punished for hating K-Drive. I would also like to suggest some melee attacks for Merulina while riding it. To make an example, in Guild Wars 2 one can ride a raptor, and when you dismount, the raptor executes a tail spin attack. Naturally this does not deal a ton of damage, but it doesn't need to either. It could simply knock enemies down instead, which again, would give some tactical use to Yareli. Now to my final suggestion to help make Yareli actually good. Aquablades. Damage-wise these things are fantastic. They only lack range. Perhaps the laziest improvement would be to allow players to modify the range, even if not by much. But more exciting to me would be the ability to synergize them. For example, using my previously mentioned ideas for the bubbles, what if Aquablades could attach themselves to a bubble one at a time? This way Yareli could launch bubbles with a blade attached to them into enemies and actually get some strategy out of it. If that seems like too much work, then either make it so players can launch Aquablades in a direction of aim, either one by one like a Mitre Blade or all at once like a Xenostar disc. Again, this would allow players to use clever strategic combos instead of Ooga Booga press 3 and don't move. Any combination of these suggested ideas could make Yareli an amazing and fun frame to play. It is unfortunate that right now in her current state, even after 2 buffs, the only thing she is good at doing is being a fan service capture thought. Now there you have it. How to fix Yareli. Share your ideas and opinions in the comment section below. And do not forget to like and subscribe to this shitty channel. Okay, now fuck off.